Well, good afternoon, everybody. Figured today I would go ahead and rip my '04 Mountaineer all-wheel drive transfer case apart. It has a problem. It is locked up. There's a little thing inside of this, call it a viscous coupling or coupler. And basically what it is, it's a clutch pack inside this transfer case. When the backdraft shaft starts spinning, the plates inside this unit starts to spin, liquefies, makes the liquid kind of get hard and starts to turn some plates. Those plates will turn the front drive shaft, and that's how your all-wheel drive system works. But this one here, the Fords have a big problem. They don't last very long. This particular Mountaineer, this one went out at 80,000 miles. The reason why is because people did not have the right size tires on the vehicle. Your tires have got to be within 3/16 of an inch. All four tires within the same diameter, basically, for this system to operate. Anything outside of that, you're going to burn that coupler up, and two things will happen. You'll either lock up, you'll be in four-wheel drive all the time, or your all-wheel drive system will be locked up, or you'll burn those clutches up, and you will not have any all-wheel drive. Basically, your back wheels will turn, and when they start to spin, your front wheels will never engage because that piece in there is completely shot. So I'm going to take this apart, and there's a guy in California who's going to rebuild it for me, but I want to go ahead and show you guys if you're having this issue with your Mountaineer and you're really stumped. I'm going to just show you what it looks like and how to take this apart and get it out of there and maybe send it off and maybe service it or even get another one. A lot of these, they have an updated one, but you're not going to like the price. It's about $650 for the steel one they actually have out now, but I'm just going to have the guy rebuild the one I have in here now so I can sell the vehicle. I'm actually going to be moving, and I don't want to take the vehicle with me. Now, what I've already done is drain the transmission fluid out of it. There's the pan, and I got the plug off and everything. That's, I think, about a quart of oil in there, transmission fluid, and it's already empty. Now, to take this unit apart, I will be using a T. Let me see if I can find the number on it. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be. A T40. And I'm going to use my electric impact wrench. And take all these bolts that you see all along the outside of this case apart. Now, you do not have to take this nut off and pull this plate off. I made the mistake on another one. Once I pulled it apart, I couldn't get the nut off, so I figured, well, I'll just go ahead and take all these bolts off around the side and somehow work around that. But this unit, top unit, will lift right off of this bottom case, which is great. Although you'll end up pulling the chain off with it, but it's easy to put back together. So let me go ahead and start taking these bolts apart, and we will look inside this and give you a look at this viscous coupling. I'll need to set the camera up here on a tripod. You can kind of watch me do this. Start this here. These bolts usually come off a lot harder. You'll probably have to take a torque wrench or something and break them loose. I've already went on ahead and broke these bolts loose just to make it a little bit faster for the video purposes. A couple of them are kind of hard to get off. Alright, let's see if I can get these last two off. Yep, I'll have to take a wrench to it here. Take these off. Alright. Got it there just about. And one more right there. don't remember putting those in there that tight. And we're on our last one. Okay. A rainy, warm Monday. Good day to stay in your garage and work. Now all I gotta do is take a hammer to that, tap it. Pry it loose. This might go just pry it loose. Sometimes it's a little stubborn. Oops. Set it down on my hair. Make sure you get all the bolts out. Just kind of look over it. And sometimes you can miss bolts. And I have in the past. Alright, there's that. It's being stubborn today, of course. So I got a chisel in there. There we go. I wouldn't recommend hitting very hard on the aluminum because you could break it. Just have to tap it, get it apart. There is basically a part. Now what I like to do is set the flat part up like this and just pick up on it. And there is your whole inside case. Hopefully you can still see that. And here is your chain. And a lot of times when this coupler locks up, it will put stress on this chain. This chain will stretch a little bit, so you need to check. Make sure you don't have a lot of play in your chain. And the way I do that is before I take the transfer case apart, just rock the spline a little bit on the outside and see if you hear it slapping against the case. If it's banging around, then you may have to get another chain. But I already checked this one. It seems to be okay. Alright, so we're going to take this apart. We'll grab this piece here, and this whole piece comes up. Well, actually, let's take this off first. Now you got a little bushing right there, brass bushing, and there's one on this gear right there, and there's one on the bottom of this right there. You can see that, and that goes right there. Set that off the side. This off the side. Now we're ready to take the chain off. Just grab it and pull straight up on it like this. And there's the chain, if you can see that. There. A little heavy. And here comes the part that was giving me all the pain in the ass in the world. I think you can still see that. This guy right here. The viscous coupler. And the spines inside look good for a little thing. This thing's going to cost me $300 to get it rebuilt. It'll be well worth it. Before I'd get around a curve, all the wheels would lock up, and I ruined 2 ball joints on the front. I just replaced them the other day. The one was completely shot, and let me show you the ball joint. Here are the 2 ball joints that I took off. This one on this. One's the driver's side wasn't too. The passenger side wasn't too bad. This is the driver's side ball joint. Ridiculous. Just completely shot. Actually, this was the driver's side. Check that out. You can hear it moving around really bad. And you can see the rust and dirt down in there. So, that will cause problems. Especially if this gets locked up. This thing only weighs probably 10 pounds. It doesn't weigh much. And the way this unit works, you got the splines here. You got this set of splines on the inside, and there are clutches. This turns the clutches, and as those clutches start to turn, this outer piece here with these splines will start to turn and lock up, and the whole unit turns, and you're in forward drive. But typically this should be free most of the time until it starts to spin and pressure gets applied. Alright, well there you go. Hopefully I didn't bore you guys too much on this Monday. I'm sending it out. I just talked to the guy today and I thought, well, you know what, I might as well make a video because I know there's a lot of people out there have this problem. And this goes all the way up to 2010. If you have push button on the dash, you do not have this particular unit. You have other issues. I would rather have the push button on the dash because it is a lot less problematic. The push button on the dash transfer case works with electricity. It has magnets in the clutch and all that. And the I'm out of breath. Whew. But anyway, it has the electronic has the push buttons on the dash, and when you engage the button, it sends electric to the clutches, and they lock up, and they create the all-wheel drive system, or they make the all-wheel drive system work. Let me try that again. Alright, now it's all apart, and there you can see what the case looks like. Now if you have a system, an Explorer Mountaineer that has the push button on the dash for the 4x4, you don't have this type of setup. This setup is only for the all-wheel drive system that does not have the push buttons on the dash. So if you have push buttons on the dash that engages your 4x4, you don't have this type of setup. You have a different setup which has clutches in there and magnets which come together and work as a unit and makes the front drive shaft turn. And this is the spline here for the front drive shaft, and it's in good shape. This is one for the rear, and it's in good shape. So hopefully I didn't bore you guys too much, and hopefully this will also help some of you guys out. I know it's a little expensive to repair this particular unit, but if your splines aren't tore up here and on the unit, which is getting ready to be sent off there in the box, you should be able to get it rebuilt. Alright, well, hopefully helped you guys out and all that good stuff. And thanks for watching the video on this rainy April. What is it? April the probably the 8th, I believe. No, today's the 5th, April 5th. Rainy day. At least it's warm. Okay, well, we had snow the other night, and now it's in the 60s, so very strange weather. So there you go, everybody. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day. And I'll try to answer any questions that anybody throws at me, which I don't think will be too many questions. It's pretty explanatory here. So have a wonderful day.